Have you been waiting a long time for Alpha 20? Not to worry, as put out by the Fun Pimps today, it is coming Monday. Now, this gentleman started playing on Alpha 15 when he was a wee lad at 10 years old. So like all of us, he's been around for many years as the game winds its way through the alphas. Still, it's a great game. You start playing it as a child, then you play with your children, then with your grandchildren, all before it goes gold. I mean, it's the only game I see doing that. Now, jokes aside, it really is coming. This video is about how to access it from Monday when public access to Alpha 20 comes out. If you have been around before, you probably know how to do it, but let me give you a quick refresher about how to manage version access. Before you do, make sure you experiment with that thumbs up like button and subscribe to my channel to get easier access to all my content. It is the support of all of you that makes it possible for me to spend all this time making videos for the community, and I do wholeheartedly appreciate the amazing support shown. It's really tough to work full-time, have family, kids, and also make videos and stream weekly, but you all make it worth the while. So what you want to do is open the Steam client. You have to go to your game, right click and hit properties, and it'll look something like this. Now, the important part here is betas. You have to go to the betas and you'll be able to select the version and the drop down. If you do none, it means it will always use the latest stable build, which is presently 19.6. But at some point it will be Alpha 20 when that goes stable. The version on Monday the 6th is an experimental version, and it is usually here down at the bottom. You do have to specifically opt into it, as you're never forced into unstable experimental builds. Now, this version here is not going to be enabled until they have actually released it. However, before you do that, before you do anything here, it is also recommended that you delete the previous versions if you're planning on upgrading, because you might have mods or other files and folders inside which can interfere with Alpha 20. And to do that, go to local files. You don't go to browse like this, and you go up one folder structure to the common. You select 7 Days to Die, and you basically do a delete and delete everything, all of it. Then, after only doing that, you go to betas and select the experimental build. Now, the reason to do that is because you might have had some mods in there before, and otherwise the game Alpha 20 version will try to load them, and often it will just not work. Now, keep in mind, you cannot play Alpha 19 saves in Alpha 20. And selecting the experimental build unstable means that whenever the Fun Pimp release a new experimental version, which they're likely to do at least weekly for a month, maybe two, it will auto-update it. The experimental versions are meant for trial, for testing, and they might or might not require world save wipes every time it updates. Probably not, but it could happen. It has happened in the past. So play at your own risk. It is an experimental and potentially an unstable build after all. So far, I've had a good experience without any crashes, though a bunch of smaller and medium bugs and omissions, but it's played really well. But what if you want to play a different version? Well, since we're here, all you need to do is select it and the drop-down window as well. If you select 19.5 for instance, it will stay 19.5 until you select something else later. It will not update to a different version than the one you have here. And that's a great way if you want to keep playing Alpha 19 until you feel it's time to make a switch. Now, I cannot select Alpha 19.6 because that's this version. Once Alpha 20 is out, then you'll be able to select 19.6 as well. So it's a good way to try out the different versions, or just play it until, well, you want to make the switch to Alpha 20. I actually personally recommend you go back to, let's say, Alpha 10 maybe? Actual Alpha 19. Oh, okay, Alpha 9 is down here. Weird, okay, it's not quite in order here. So go back to Alpha 9, maybe Alpha 10. Just try it out, just to see how far the game has come. I did that in my retro series, and it was really awesome. Another thing that the Fun Pimps have said, they recommend wiping all your save games in the folder, but I personally don't think that's going to be needed. So I didn't do it, and I haven't had any issues myself. As a final note, remember the experimental selection will only be available sometimes on Monday the 6th. If it's not there, it means the Fun Pimps have yet to release it and you have to check back later. Actual time of the day is hard to tell. I suspect sometime afternoon Central Standard Time, US time zone, but there's no actual time communicated. Once it's out, select it, wait for it to install, and enjoy. If it does fail, meaning you can't start it, it gives some errors, etc., make sure you go and delete the folder as I showed, then redo the install from fresh. That normally solves a majority of the issues that people actually run into. So, see you Zombie Slayer, make sure you hit that unstable experimental thumbs up like button, and subscribe, right?
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.